Hey.
And this is my friend Lindsay, and I had the privilege to meet her whenever we went to Ashley Sinclair's house, and which I guess she didn't know until today, but she really, like, I don't know, I got to ride home with her and her sister, and it was so cool listening to her and her passion. Her passion is contagious, like, for real. So thank you so much for being on here. It means a lot to me. I asked her this morning because I was just like thinking, like, they've got to hear from you because I don't know, I just love you and I love your passion. So will you just kind of, if you're not muted, guys, if y'all will go ahead and mute yourself. And Lindsay, will you just kind of tell us your story just a little bit about how long you've been in the company and kind of how you started and what you're doing now?
Okay. So I started February 2nd, 2015. I'll never forget that because I told you. I was going to start on the 1st, but Alyssa was like, you're going to want to wait till the 2nd. And I was like, okay. I had no idea why. It was the Ruby bonus. They had just announced it. And I was like, that was really ballsy telling me to wait. I could have backed out. She's like, I know. She's like, no, I knew you weren't going to. I've been taught. She knew me well enough that she could say that. But anyway, I got started because I needed like $300 extra a month about. Ideally, that's what I wanted, to be able to just take my dog to the vet. She hadn't come to the vet in like 2 years because I just couldn't, the vet is expensive. And then the Saturday before the Monday that she messaged me, I had to take my car in to get the oil changed, and it ended up being $300 worth of things that needed to happen. It wasn't just stuff they were it was like it needed to happen. So I broke down that night, and for about a year and a half, 2 years, I had been praying for God to bring a way to make extra cash into my life. I was a graphic designer, so I figured it would be freelancing, but no opportunities were coming up. And then that Monday morning,
you may walk away.
I had been her loyal for a while. I mean, I joined as a loyal close to when she joined. So I knew the products. But I'm shy, I'm introverted, I don't like to talk to people I don't know. So network marketing, I knew it was legit, but I never thought it would be for me. Anyway, so I joined and I worked it with my full-time job, ended up hitting my goal very quickly, and then stop. It's so bad. Anyway, and then last November, 10 months in, I quit my job, and now I do it full-time. And I'm a double diamond.
Awesome. That is so awesome. So how long did it take you to get to diamond?
It took me 5 months.
Okay, and then how many months from diamond to double?
So I think 3. I went diamond in July? No. When did I go diamond? Sorry, June. I went diamond in June, and then I went double in September. So a year ago.
Okay. Yeah, it becomes a blur, I feel like.
And so much happened that summer that it's like all comes together.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so you're home full time now. That's amazing. I can't wait for that day. That's amazing. So I'm just going to ask you, I'm going to read some questions. I already sent them over to her just so she was prepared and wasn't blindsided of the questions that you guys wanted her to answer. And I think that these are great questions. They're very valid questions and emotions. And I think that Lindsay's a perfect person to answer them because she is a very strong person. So what are your best tips on messaging and posting?
Okay, so they're different. My tips for messaging, number 1 is to do it. Flat out message. My second tip is to no copy and pasting. Tailor that message specifically to that one person. If you can message 20, 30, 40 people in a day and you have a job and you have kids and all that, you're not doing it right. I can't. This is my full-time job, and I can't message that many people. At the most, I can do 15 solid messages. Oh my gosh, seriously, stop. I can do 15 solid messages a day because I take my time with them. I really look through the person's account, whether it be on Instagram or Facebook, and I find good, solid reasons I think they'd be good. And so it takes time. It takes time to craft a really good message. And yeah, I have a template that I use based on the person's lifestyle, if they're a mom, if they're a health junkie, all that stuff. But I also switch stuff out and make sure that it's unique to them, because the more unique the messages that you make them, the more people are going to respond. And doing 10 really good messages. Oh no, I'm frozen. There we go. Doing 10 really good messages and getting 5 responses back is better than sending out 30 crap messages and getting 2 responses back, if that makes sense. Your goal when you message someone is not to sign them up right then. Your goal is to get them to ask for you for more information. Okay?
So would you say that, and it could be a yes or a no, and it could vary, but would you say that you message, because y'all know what cold messaging is? That's whenever you add someone to Facebook and you pretty much instantly send them a message. Do you always build a relationship, or are there times where you will cold message somebody?
I never, ever, ever, ever cold message, because first off, I've had it done to me by Beachbody people and Plexus people, and it's insulting, because how do you know I'd be good? I literally accepted your friend request 2 minutes ago. You don't know me, you know? So I never, ever do that. And then, and the relationship is different. You know, sometimes I just watch them from afar, and I'm honest that way. I'm like, you know, I've been watching you. I don't know if you know this, but you know, I've been watching you. And, and it usually, it varies between a month, 2 months. Stop. You're being rude at this point. This is what I have to deal with. I don't even know where it went. There it is. Come here. No, here, lay down. Lay down. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, always build a relationship. I never cold message ever. And even if I see someone and they're liking my post and I don't have a reason why I think they'd be good, because that happens, I don't message them yet. I wait until I can find a good picture. They'll post something that'll give me a reason. So.
Do you feel like it's so much more important in your business now to have quality over quantity?
Yes, I do, because when I was first getting started, I was like, let's just get everybody in. I got to get to diamond, which is a great mindset to have, and you should have it to get to diamond. Even double diamond, because you unlock the whole comp plan with double diamond. But now I have I just refuse to try to wake the dead or make people want something they don't want. So if someone is giving me, if I feel like I have to pull teeth to get them to sign up, that's what it's going to be like to get them to work. You're going to have to pull teeth to get, how you got them in the computer is how you're going to have to keep them, pretty much.
Yes.
If you're bribing people to get in, you're going to have to bribe them to stay.
Yes, I would agree. I would definitely agree. So posting, how often do you post, and what do you have a schedule? Kind of what do you go by to post?
I don't really have a schedule. I try to do something inspirational, motivating in the morning, just because people need that. And that's also when I do my Bible study, so I'll post something from there. Other than that, Kaylee, stop. Other than that, I just try to post more than 4 times a day. That's usually just 4 times. I try to do 1 inspirational post, 1 lifestyle post, a business post, a product post, like 1 of each category. Sometimes I do more than 1 product post, because I just saw this great before and after, and I have my own personal ones that I just got, that are new. Sometimes I have more than 1 thing to say about the business. Sometimes, I don't really have a strict schedule. I tried to do that for a while, and it just wasn't my style. I'm a lot better when I can have a good, thought out, well-written post than a million little message me for this or $99 to join, which is also one of my posting tips. Never say join my team for $99 ever. And then also never post ads. I'm a graphic designer by trade. I love a good ad. I love a nice photo, like, of a product. It makes me happy. But if you look down my feed, I never post them because people get bombarded with ads all day. And that's not why they get on Facebook. So that's probably my number one tip for posting is no ads. Personal photos. If you see a photo that is someone else's personal photo, like their hand with hair, skin, and nails, that's fine. Just know I don't post corporate ad images. I don't, because people don't want to see them. And your verbiage needs to be you. It doesn't need to be copy and paste from the product info. You talk about it. People don't want to be sold to. They want to hear you.
Yes, that's awesome tips. Thank you. Because I will say, I don't know about you, but my posting in the beginning of my business is completely different than it is now. So yes, thank you. Those are all things that have hit home with me recently. Okay, when was your big turning point in your business and what kept you going to get there?
I have two big turning points in my business. So I'll give both and we'll go from there. So my first one was 3 weeks in. At this point, I enrolled customers from day one, literally, because the way my brain worked was I joined this business to make money. BV equals dollars, loyal customers equals BV. So I need to get all the loyal customers. That was my mindset. If I'm going to join this to make money, I'm going to make money, and this is how I make money. So from 6:30 a.m. when I signed up to do this business, I was emailing, I was texting, I was messaging my friends and family. Stop. This is the worst you've ever been. Jeez. So I was getting loyals. I just hadn't signed a distributor yet. And so 3 weeks into my business, It Works You in Dallas. It was the very first It Works You they ever did. And I went on a whim by myself, and Dallas is a 5-hour drive from here, so that was very unlike me. And I heard a tip there, and I wish I knew who it was, but it was one of the ambassadors. You know when they call all the ambassadors up?
Yeah.
And she said, don't make the decision for someone else. We have such a fantastic opportunity that it's not fair for us to say you don't need that, because they might. It's not fair for us to say you don't, I'm not going to offer this to you so you can't change the whole legacy of your family. That is not fair. We have this opportunity. Our job is to give people the choice, not to make the choice for them. And I realized I was making the choice for people. It's like, oh, they're so healthy, they're not going to want this. Or she drives a Cadillac, she's not going to want. Literally, that was one of them. And now she's a diamond on my team. And the health nut is a emerald. And you just can't prejudge people. And that was one of them. And so the second I came back, I started enrolling, and that was in March, and I ended up being one of the top enrollers on Ashley's team across the board, just starting mid-March from when I got back, because I just asked everybody. And then, so that changed my business completely. And then the second time was the very, I think it was like May 1st. Yeah. May 1st, I believe. Because I was a Ruby, and I had a Ruby under me. So I went Ruby, and then my sister, who works this business with me, was Ruby. And Alyssa calls me, and they had extended the $20,000 double good. And Alyssa calls me and says, you need to go for Diamond. And I was like, are you on crack? I'm a Ruby. And she's like, no, I really think you should do it. And I fought so hard that month. Like, I did not think I could do it, but she believed in me. So then it made me believe in me. And that was huge for me because because just for the first time in my whole life, I believed I could do something extraordinary. And so I didn't hit it. I missed it by 1,000 BV. I went from a Ruby with a Ruby to fully charted Diamond, and I missed it by 1,000. And then the next month I got it. Oh my gosh, stop. I'm going to lock you out. And anyway, so then I got it the next month. But what that taught me is that anyone is truly capable of doing anything in this business. If I can do that, anyone can do anything. Like, I know you guys don't know me from before this business, but I'm nothing special. I I sweat when I have to talk to strangers face to face. I hate talking on the phone. I don't do things like that, but I made it happen. And so that was a turning point to see that truly anything is possible.
That's awesome. That's so cool because now you would never know. Like you're a rock star. Like whenever you talk and stuff, like you would never know. So that's super cool. Okay, do you ever have days you just don't want to work your business? And if so, what do you do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everyone does. Everyone. I mean, duh. Do you have a day when you want to eat cake instead of a salad? I mean, that's what that's like. It's I love this job, but I still love to watch Netflix all day, and I still love to go to the beach, and I still, and those things are good things. It's fine, but they distract you. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I am blocking her out. I can't.
Okay.
Because we literally forget. Haley, come here. Haley. Holy moly. Okay. So, yes, I have days like that. And I do it anyway. I work anyway. Because what's my other option? I don't. I mean, this is my job, and it pays me really well. And let me shut my door so she can't hear me talking. Seriously, it's like I have a child, you guys. I don't have human children. She's just all I have. So anyway, so I do it anyway because this job is better than anything else that I could ever do. A bad day, Joel Dunn says, a bad day with it works is still the best day at any other job. And it's so true. And so if I want to keep living life the way I'm living it, I have to stay disciplined, and I have to keep working, and I have to keep building my business. Alyssa and I talk about, Alyssa enrolled me. Alyssa is my sponsor. She's Presidential Diamond. We talk about this all the time and why we work so hard. And it's because I love being able to buy a plane ticket and leave at the drop of a hat. And if I want to keep up that lifestyle, I have to bust my butt and build my business. And so when I'm not feeling motivated, maybe I'll get out of bed just a little bit later, or maybe I'll take that day and I'll do self-development and I'll read, 3 or 4 chapters in a book. But regardless of what I choose to do, I am sending new messages. I'm friending new people. I'm doing the basics. Maybe I don't lead a team Zoom that day. Maybe, I pick and choose what I do, but I'm still doing things. I do a couple income producing things. I'm still posting, following up if I need to, but you're never going to be motivated all the time. If you think you are, you're so wrong. You're never going to be motivated every single day. So you need to get that out of your head. And the people that think that they need to be motivated to work, they're not the leaders in this business, you guys. The leaders in this business are the people who do it anyway, even when they don't want to. And I'm not saying I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm dreading this. I don't want to work. That's not it. It's like some days I'm just like, it's just as easy not to message someone as it is to message someone. And there are days that you lean more towards, I don't want to message anybody, but you gotta do it anyway.
Yes, that's awesome advice. What is your best advice for putting fire or momentum back in your team? And I'm just going to go ahead because I know where this question's coming from, so I'm going to be a little bit more specific. What do you do, because I think I know your answer, what do you do with people that don't want to work? They don't want to work, you message them, you signed them, they told you that they already had their diamond chart filled out and that they were going to change the world with you, and then you can't even get them to respond to you.
Okay. My dog. I can't. Okay. So I'm going to answer that 2 different ways, because to put fire into my team, the only way I know how to do that, and I've tried a bajillion different ways, the only way that really works is to show them. Your team is going to follow what you do. Somehow they know. I don't know how, but somehow they know when you're working, and they're going to do what you're doing. So if you want to motivate your team, put fire in your team, you've got to be the most motivated. You have got to stay close to the flame, and you've got to stay passionate and fired up, because they're going to do what you do. It trickles down. So if you don't have a lot of flame, they're not going to have a lot of flame, if that makes sense. And then with the person that won't respond, have yourself a 10-second pity party and move on. Okay? You can't wake the dead. Stop trying to. I tried to wake the dead for 8 months, and that's why I'm not triple yet. Okay? Stop trying to wake the dead. Start new. Get fresh blood. It's so much more fun to work with new people who are excited about it. And yeah, let them know, hey, I'm not going anywhere. When you're ready to work, I'm ready to work, but I can't stop. Oh, sorry, people are like blowing up my phone. It's my sister. She can anyway,
that leads me into the next question. Okay, your sister. So her sister is on her team. I'm not sure if you have any other siblings or anything, but did any of your family ever doubt you?
Yeah.
Not doubt you, were they skeptics?
Yeah, my mom, who, let me just clarify, my mom is my number one customer now. Like, she is on board, but she wasn't at first. In fact, I told her I was thinking about doing this, and she told me flat out, don't do it. She did not think I could. I did it anyway, clearly. But she just did not. She thought I was just going to fail miserably because I'm not the normal network marketing person. I'm shy. I say this all the time. And so she did not believe in me. And basically what happened was my sister basically just said, Lindsay's going to do this, and you're going to have to support her, else you're going to drive her away. And that's what happened. So, but she supported me. She loves all the products. She takes everything now. But she didn't believe in me, but I did it anyway. I'm an adult. I don't need my mom to tell me to do something for me to do it.
What about Chelsea? Did she jump in right from the beginning with you?
Chelsea 100% supported my decision and believed in me, but she didn't jump in until I got back from It Works You and she saw my passion about it. That's when she jumped in. And even still, she didn't jump in to actually work the business. She just jumped in, and I basically said, okay, you have to go Ruby. Okay, here's your Emerald chart. I need to go Diamond, so you have to go Emerald. And that's how she learned. But I have a brother, and we have a brother, and he was not like snarky about it. He just didn't want to hear about it. And his wife loves the wraps. My sister-in-law loves the wraps, loves defining gel, hair, skin, and nails, all that. But he just, anytime it would come up in conversation, he just would change the subject. But he, after a while, and so I stopped bringing it up. We stopped talking about what I did. I love my brother dearly. We're like the same person. It's creepy. But so, to me, it was worth it. Just, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to be loving siblings, and that's what it was. But after a while of him hearing people talk about my business and hearing me talk about the business with my sister, because like we went on a family reunion and end of the month was while we were there. So him hearing us do the business and seeing me read self-development, leadership books that he himself has read, because he's in upper middle management in the oil and gas industry. So he thinks he's all knowing about all things leadership, and his little sister, couldn't possibly know that stuff through network marketing. So I just let it be, and I let my actions and my business and my life speak for itself. And now he respects me. He still isn't like, wow, let's talk about your business, or I want to order all that stuff. But he respects me as a leader. We talk about leadership, and he respects me in regards to business. So if you have someone who's not supportive, do it anyway. Prove them wrong. And I've always had that mentality. I was told in 8th grade that I would never make varsity as a freshman. That was my number one dream for volleyball, to make varsity as a freshman as a volleyball player. And I was a little scrawny, and I wasn't the best. And I trained my heart out that off season with the varsity setter, and I did it because I wanted to prove all of those jerks wrong. So that's where I come from. Is it the healthiest thought process in the world? Probably not. But I'm all about proving people wrong when they tell you can't do something. Because why did they get to tell you that? Why did they get to make the decision what you can and can't do and what you aren't capable of? That is not fair. That's your decision.
That's awesome. So what is the best way, whenever you do introduce the company to someone new or maybe even in person, what is the best way to bring it up? Sam, come here.
So in person, that makes me sweat. I'm still not very good at it. I'm more of I build my business probably 80% on social media. So if I'm in person, if it's someone I know and I see regularly, like for example, my chiropractor who's now on my team, one of my rock stars, she wasn't always, she was my chiropractor first. And I just I did the Kim Touchton drip. So I would drip, she'd be like, hey, what are you doing? And instead of talking about my job, I would talk about it works, because at this time I still had a full-time job. Now I was like, I've been up late working, so it's probably why my neck is messed up, because I've been leaning over my computer just working. Oh, what are you working on? And I could, say, well, I'm doing this side business. And then she'd ask, she was not interested until I said, yeah, and I just got a $10,000 bonus. And then she's like, oh. And then, so you drip, and eventually you're gonna say something that catches their attention. Maybe it's you say, yeah, I would like tomorrow, an example that Kim Touchton gives is like tomorrow, if you have a full-time job and you're at the coffee and you're drinking a lot of coffee, you're like, man, I'm just so tired. Well, why are you tired? Oh, I was up late on this Zoom meeting for my side job. And it's just so cool. I love it. I'm actually making money with it. Simple things like that. And then if they ask more, don't word vomit. Like, it's really hard because you get excited. I get it, but restrain, just drip, just give them a little bit to where they're going to want to hear more.
That's
and then online, I flat out bring it up online, because I don't have, there's a computer screen in between it. I don't have fear. So I just, bring it up. Could I say any more information about what I do? That's what I say.
That's awesome. That's really good advice. So you, even like blitzing, I tell girls, like, don't go out and think you're going to give me your social, hi, I'm Courtney, give me your social. It's just that attracting people and that almost to the boldness of faking it till you make it when you first start. You love it and you love what it's going to do for you, even if it hasn't done it for you yet. That's what I tell my girls. That's awesome though, the drip, just to drip a little bit of info. How do you face objections of, I don't have the money, or I'll order from you later?
If someone uses basically for any excuse, I use feel, felt, found. So I don't have the money. Oh my gosh, I totally understand how you feel. Like I felt that way too. I charged it on my credit card, but I have found that or like, what would I say with that last part? I would say, and this is why you can't just message 50 people, because you can't just blurt stuff out. You have to think through your messages. But I would probably say, but I have found so many people on my team make their money right back, and then they start making profit right away. What can we do to help get you started sooner? Hear them. When you do feel, felt, found, you're hearing them. You're not just giving them a cookie cutter answer. You're saying, I hear how you feel. I felt that way too, and I have found this. And I use that for every excuse.
Is that from a book?
Probably. It's probably from GoPro. I read GoPro a year ago, so it probably is.
It's feel. Say it again. Feel.
So I know how you feel. Felt. So I've felt, and then you tell them how you relate. And then I have found, like,
a solution or okay.
And then if someone says they want to order later, I say, okay, that's fine. What day would work for you for me to follow up? Get a date. If they're like, oh, I'm waiting for payday. Okay, well, when's payday? I'd be happy to follow up with you. I want to make sure you get your product soon. I know how excited you are to grow your hair out. I want to make sure you get your product soon.
Okay. So that it sounds like to me, you don't let that get you down. It's just like, if someone's going to order on the 20th, then that's on the 20th, you have an order coming in, and that's how you have to think about it.
Mm-hmm. I have a calendar up here, a big one, and I have names. Follow up with them. And on my potentials list, I say, okay, follow up. I write their excuse, and then I put the follow-up date when I need to follow up. So, if you let excuses get you down, have fun. This is not going to be a fun business for you, because I hear them every day. I either get ignored, hear excuses, and get a couple people wanting to know more. But excuses are a big part of this business.
Yeah, I would agree. How do you handle negative DTs on your team?
You know what's funny is I if you would have asked me this about 3 or 4 months ago, I would have said, oh, I don't have any. But I do now. And they're not even my person enrolled, but they come to me instead of their enroller, who I know who their enroller is, and she's wonderful. I don't know why they come to me. But I'm not saying don't go to your diamond and above. I'm just saying I don't understand, because I know their enroller is amazing. Whatever. So I deal with negativity now. And I address their question. I answer their question in a positive way, because they only come to you with questions. So I answer their question in a positive way, and I leave it at that. And then if they respond something, if they say anything negative, I don't respond. I just don't respond to it. I'm sorry. I don't need that in my life. I don't need any more negativity in my life. The world is already full of it. So if they come to me with negativity, then I ignore it. Except one time, one girl came with negativity about her paycheck, which made no sense because it went up. The percent it went up is more than the percent of her volume that went up. So I'm like, you got paid, whatever. So basically she came to me and I just laid out the facts. I'm like, this is why you make no sense, because, you know, X, Y, and Z. So if I have to address it, I address it and then I move on. I don't linger in the conversation, because that will get me down, and I can't afford for that to happen.
So what would you do if you had a negative DT that was yours, and you're like, okay, what's your goal this month? And they're like, well, I don't know. I haven't been able to sign anybody. And they're negative, like, you know, nobody wants this. Nobody. And I'm thinking of some situations specific on my team where girls have carried not dead boxes, but very, very negative boxes. Would there come a point where you're so busy trying to find new people that you're just not that you don't worry about them, but that you're just not engaging? And it's almost like the excuses, but you've already signed them.
Yeah. First off, I'm always trying to sign more people. Like I know that for a while I wasn't, and my business kind of went, so I'm always trying to sign new people. And with that kind of person, if they're giving me excuses and they're already in the computer, I'm just flat out going to say, nobody wants this. Really, I talked to someone yesterday who wants this. Nobody wants this. Really, our team enrolled 10 loyals last week. People want this. Like, you just have to go find those people. I challenge negative people. I'm known through, I know y'all are under Alyssa, so you guys don't see what we do. We had this series where we would do tough love, and I still do tough love on my team page. I'm a red. It's how I communicate really well. And so is Alyssa. So, and we live like 15 minutes apart, if even. So we'd get together and just talk. It was basically almost therapy, but we would talk about, okay, you know, people want this, you know, and that's how I meet negativity. I don't sugarcoat things. And I rarely sugarcoat things. I'm kind of known for being tough lovey, which is a good and bad thing. But I don't sugarcoat things, especially when it comes to negative people. Like, I will not be, oh, I'm so sorry you feel that way. Oh, I understand. I'll say, no, people want this. Our products are awesome. You're not finding the right people. How are you finding the right people? How are you sending the messages? Show me a message you're sending. Like, I meet them with action items. I meet them by debunking what they're saying, because I got to get that out. I got to get that negativity out there. I have to show them that people want this. And if they're going to come to me with a harsh attitude, I can't let them overpower the conversation like that. I have to get a hold of it, you know? And I'm not saying, like, be a bitch or anything. I'm just saying, if they're meeting you in negativity, sugarcoating things isn't going to help at all. Saying, oh, you're right, or, oh, I understand, blah, blah. No, that's not going to help. But at some point, it becomes exhausting, and I'm moving on. And one person I did have to say, look, I have given you help with everything you've come to me for, and you haven't taken any of my advice. Like, you can't sign a DT, but you're not going to send me a screenshot of what you're sending, so I can't help you. I don't know what you want from me, so unless you're willing to meet me halfway, I can't help you anymore, because there's got to be give and take. I will meet you, but you've got to come to me too. Like, I can't just read your mind of what you're doing. You have to give me something.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. That's perfect advice. Have you ever had a month where your enrollments were significantly down, or maybe, like, I mean, my team knows I'm very transparent. In June and July, I signed 0 loyals, 0. And that is so embarrassing. I signed multiple DTs, but I almost had it stuck in my head that I sucked at signing loyals, but I'm good at signing DTs, but you cannot just sign one or the other. So have you ever been stuck in a situation like that mentally, and what did you do?
Yeah, that was me last year and beginning of this year, basically until the summer. This summer I got out of it, but because when you're a strong recruiter DT wise, it's really fun. And like, I love the DT side of things. For me, like, enrolling a customer, it's good, but it's not like as exciting as when I enroll a DT. I just love that part of it. So I focused more on that. And I mean, I would sign a loyal a month or 2 a month, maybe. But recently I've signed a lot more because I stopped telling myself I couldn't. My sister's really good at signing loyals. Andy, she's just all around a good recruiter, both sides of it. And so I would go to her for help and say, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't sign a loyal to save my life. And she's like, okay, Lindsay, if someone came to you and said, I can't sign a DT to save my life, what would you tell them? And I took my own advice. You know, are you asking? Are you posting about it? Stop saying you can't. And I realized that I was posting 99% about the business and the opportunity. I had stopped posting about the products and how they're changing my life and before and afters. And I post the occasional before and after here and there, but I've really started, if you follow me, I've started posting more about how they help me, my personal results. And that is what people pay attention to.
That I've noticed, like, I didn't know you obviously before, but I will say, looking at your Snapchat, everything, it is your journey. And that, to me, even like as your friend, as your side sister, is powerful, because I'm like, woo, look at her cleanse results. Like, it's real. I know you. I know who you are. And I don't know, like, that's awesome advice. Even, you know, I always say you can't try everything, but if you can do one thing and become a product of one product at a time, and your testimonies like scream now at me whenever and I take the greens, but like during the Olympics and you're like, oh my God, and all of that stuff, but your emotion jumps out at people. And so I think that, I never knew you whenever you didn't post a lot of products, but definitely.
Well, I was posting just like before and afters, or like a picture of hair, skin, and nails in a hand. I wasn't being consistent with my products, to be honest. That was part of the problem. And what got me is that green carpet. It was the product, I think it was Ashley's panel, actually. She said, her or Ashley Olive, I don't remember which one. They were like, you need to, if you don't have a before and after since your very first box of wraps, that's horrible. And I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't done it. Like, I've wrapped, but I haven't documented it since that first box. And I had great results, so I use them all the time, but it's like, I need to show that they still work. And so then when I cleanse, I did my first cleanse before and after, and I'm like, I haven't done a cleanse before. I cleanse all the time, and I haven't done a cleanse before and after since that first one. So every time I cleanse, I take a before and after, every single time. Every time I wrap, I take a before and after. And I'm doing that with New You now. Like, I've been taking New You, but I've recently started lifting again because I took it for sleeping, but now I'm taking it for my muscles. So I'm taking, my arm. It's very embarrassing flexing in front of the mirror. Like,
Gosh.
but I'm taking like every 4 weeks or 3 weeks, I'm taking a picture of my arm flexing so I can have those. I talk about why I choose ProFit and how, I'm recovering faster. And, if you know the language of your audience, speak it. So when I talk about ProFit, I'm talking to people who work out. So I talk about my recovery time, the quality of protein, how much it absorbs, things like that. And so that gets people perking up. They're like, oh, you know of a good protein. And,
That's great. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Because I don't know that. Like, that's something I don't know, about ProFit yet.
But if you don't know it, don't speak to it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So be you, because they're going to be like, she doesn't know that,
I don't know what she's talking about.
But I have always been an athlete my whole life, so people know that. And if I'm going to talk to health products, I need to talk about them from my perspective and how, like for example, I don't know if you'll know Kirsten Lewis. She is like 0 body fat CrossFitter, like insane. And she knows the science and all the ingredients, and she can talk about that. I can't. If I were to talk about that on my feed, they'd be like, Lindsay, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, that made no sense. So just talk about what you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are there any other questions from you ladies that are on here? No. Is there anything else, Lindsay, that you want to share? I guess, what is your biggest advice for anybody who's not Diamond yet?
Get to Diamond. I don't care if you lose sleep. It just baffles my mind how I have people on my team, they're like, oh, I want Diamond so bad. And then they're in bed at 9:00. And I'm like, no, you don't. I'm sorry, you don't. But I have a full-time job. I did too, and I went to bed at 2 a.m. And I get sometimes you can't do that, but it's worth it, and it's worth getting there. And it's going to take sacrifice, but the sacrifice is so worth it. The second that in your e-suite that it says Diamond, there's nothing like that moment, and everything is worth it. Same with Double. The month I went Double, I was a crazy person, and it was so worth it. I screamed when that said Double.
That's how I was. I can remember sleeping 4 hours at night. I've gotten back to that. I've started to feel that way again, and it's really exciting. Because I feel like every promotion you go into, you're going to have to dig deep, and you're going to have to do that. And I've realized that, because you're not going to just float to the top of ambassador. But I was like you, I sleep 4 hours at night, and I would be adding on Instagram when I was going to the bathroom, and just my mind was always on my business, and not in an unhealthy way. I was just so driven and so motivated that nothing was going to stop me from getting there.
Yeah.
And that sounds like that you were in the exact same zone. You were getting there.
I would, before it works, I got up at 4:30 every day to work out before work. And at lunch, I'd go eat lunch with my coworkers. That's how my life was. I'd go to bed at 8:30 and then, wake and do it all over again. Once I got the vision of the company and I saw what could happen, I started staying up till midnight, 1, 2. Stopped working out in the morning, started working out on my lunch break, which also let me work while I was at the gym on my lunch break, sending messages and following up and stuff. And then I'd go home and I'd work, start working till later. And it was exhausting. I'm not going to lie. I was tired. But I also knew that it was only for a brief amount of time. I worked that way when I went Diamond. And then about a month after I went Diamond, I realized I wanted to do this full time, and I knew what dollar amount that meant, and I knew that meant Double Diamond. And so I started doing that again, and it was exhausting, and I made a lot of sacrifices. But in my mind, that was, 4 months of my whole entire life to quit and be retired for the rest of my life. 4 months is nothing. in it, when you're in it, it's exhausting. But 4 months of hard work for your whole life in order to accomplish a huge goal, like for me, it was to retire from corporate America when I was 27. That's huge. So that 4 months was so worth the freedom that I have for forever now. Like, I'm never going back to corporate America, ever, because of 4 months of that hard work.
So I know you don't have kids and you're not married yet, but you were busy. You were busy in a different way. What would be your advice to somebody, because you had a full-time job? I mean, you were busy. What would be your advice to someone whose plate is completely full? They have 5 kids. They are full-time in college. What would be your biggest tip for someone who's, I mean, legitimately maxed out, plate full?
If you are that busy, don't think that you have to sit down for hours to work this business. I did, even when I had a full-time job, I just stopped hanging out with my friends. Like, I was a crappy friend. But my friends also saw what it was doing in my life, so they were okay with it. But don't think you just have to sit down forever. Like, if you can't sit down for an hour, 2 hours, get that out of your head that you have to do that. Give yourself grace, okay? Find the 10-minute pockets of time, the 5-minute pockets of time. This is when it's really going to matter for you to stay organized and have your potentials on a list with notes. Follow up on this day. Follow up on this day.
What's your list look like? Do you have your list?
Yeah. Mine looks like this. Side note, I have tried like 50 different ways to stay organized because things just work in different seasons of your life. This is what works for me now. So I have this page of warm potentials, people who wanted more information, but they're like, it's so warm. So I have their name, and then in pencil, so I can erase and keep writing, is the last date I talked to them. So the last day I talked to them, and basically just like 3 or 4 words of like what the conversation was. So this one says, Jamie, 9/12, had a car accident, wants to join in the winter. Kendall, 9/12, interested because of her anxiety, follow up on the 30th. Like that. Then my next page is like really hot potentials, people who are like wanting it. Like, I'm just trying to seal the deal. So these people, same thing. But it's like, Lindsay, 9/12, hectic schedule, follow up on the 23rd. Sarah, interested but still thinking, follow up on the 23rd. Amanda, interested, stopped responding on the 11th. Things like that. And then the last page I have are people that at one time were interested but died out. And these are the people that I follow up for BOGO or after conference or things like when I have an excuse. And so that's what I do. And you're going to want to stay organized so that when you do have 10 minutes, you can go to that list, send a couple follow-up messages, and that's it. That's 3 messages. If you send 3 messages every day in those 10-minute pockets, I mean, that's 21 messages of follow-ups in a week. Did I do that math right? I went to art school, you guys. I don't math ever. So,
yes, you're right.
Okay. And then, one of my diamonds, she's a single mom, and her rule is every time I go to the bathroom, I have to post, because it's the only time she gets, where her hands are free is when she's on the toilet. So she posts when she's in the bathroom. When I was at work, I drink a lot of water, and I always have. So I peed a lot, so it wasn't weird for me to go to the bathroom a lot, but I always had my phone in my pocket, or I stuffed my phone in my bra, and I went to the bathroom, and I'm posting, and I'm following up while I'm in the bathroom in that stall. On my lunch break, I went and got Chick-fil-A, and I'd park in the JCPenney parking lot with my windows down, following up. You find any way you can do it. In the parent pickup line, oh my gosh, I just had to sit through that with my sister to pick up my nephew. You have an hour, you guys. You have an hour to sit there. I see people reading, people playing games. Work your business. There are little pockets of time, I swear. Even if it's you're waiting in line at a grocery store, you've got time. You can do it.
Yeah. And I think, too, when you use those pockets, you are buying yourself freedom 4 months down the road, 6 months down the road, 3 years down the road, whatever it is, you're, like you said, you're sacrificing. And it may be small at first, and that's okay. I think that's so important that you said that's okay. You don't have to sit down at a computer and work it for 3 hours. There's no way it has to look. It just you have to do it every day. I mean, would you agree? You have to do something for your business.
Every day. Every day. The other day, I'm sure you saw my post about having the migraine from hell.
Yeah.
I get migraine a lot, so I can work through them. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, I have a headache right now. I always have a headache. But that day, it was like I thought I was dying. And I got a message from a girl that I talked to months before that morning when I thought I was dying. And she's like, yeah, I'm ready to order the skinny pack. And I'm like, I so want to ignore you right now because I feel like I'm about to die, like throw up and die. And I powered through and I got her in the computer, and that is all I did that day. But I did something. And if it wasn't that, I would have tried to post something, or I don't know. I would have tried to do something. But you've got to do one thing, something.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and I really appreciate you more than you know. And thanks for pouring into my girls. And Lindsay is going to be in Mexico with me, and we're so excited. And I can't wait till next year whenever you guys are sitting here excited to go on this trip of amazing craziness.
I can't even wait.
I can't.
I'm so excited.
Go Diamond. Go Diamond. It's Go Diamond.
Go Diamond just for the diamond and above stuff. Like,
just
the diamond
with Ashley. Yeah, and a lot of you were new and didn't get the cruise. Like, okay, I was last year. I didn't get it, but I knew I was damn sure going to get it this year. And so let that be your drive. Know how excited people are around you and let that drive you. Because I'm super excited. I was nervous, and now I'm like, yes, I'm so excited. So thank you so much for your time. You're so amazing. And I will see you so soon in Mexico. Thank you.
I'm so excited. It was a pleasure. Nice to kind of meet you guys.
Bye, Lindsay. Thank you.
Bye.